Hey, good late morning, everyone. Wow, Michael Venezia, one of the coaches at Tradeview Markets, as we sign into a Thursday. Man, a lot going in. I'm actually just processing it now. Bristol, look at the charts on some of these stocks. You know what? As it the Wednesday, I owe it to the regulars just to look at some of these things. All right, there's Tesla. Hey, Tesla, 139 to 166 without even knowing it. For those that wanted to load up, pardon me, this TSLL trades what? 100 million a day? It did the other day. There you go. All of a sudden, 5 to 7. What's that? 25%. How you doing? Look at TSLL. What else do we have? Okay. Other stocks. Pfizer, worst. Typing will make sure don't lose now. Pfizer. There's the chart on Pfizer. I was told it was new lows. Bristol Myers, new lows. Look at Bristol. Hog. Harley Davidson had a range. Harley Davidson. Okay. 39 to 32. A bounce to 35. I'm not saying it's the best trading stock out there. It's what's going on. It's why the VIX is actually hanging up there. It's traded 3.5 million. Big deal. What else is going on here? Obviously Meta. I believe bounced up. Look at this. I'm typing. I love typing, by the way. Unfortunately, it's a point and click. All right, Meta held the 398, 401 last night. Bravo with everybody. Caught a decent trade. I got you. What's going on now? Paradigm acting well. I'm actually long that, and I sold some to the top on Paradigm. All right, let's get back to, because this is a day where Coach is usually on, as Marvell, by the way, for all those people that were used to looking for a coach, has been taking calls for days and found a nice bottom at the 200 day. So let me get back into the setting here as I go into TGATEHub. Those that are expecting a more intelligent video, because Dale Pinkert, the coach, is not on, I'll try to represent properly. Okay, so we had Tesla, and I said something about Tesla on I believe it was on Tuesday's video. Had Tesla could be up 8-10%, and the rest of the market could be down. That's actually what happened to a degree. Actually, Meta's down today. The rest of the stocks actually bounced nicely, if you can see. Some important earnings tonight going forward, but we'll look at some other movers. Boeing, that was a nice trade. You know what? In Boeing, I had Boeing, was watching Boeing. That was a pure play for all my long guys. Had the earnings, had news, closed on the low. I know it's $160 stock, but you know what? You could have thought out the box actually, like I did, and went to the worst airline, which LUV, Southwest Airlines. I finally got out of my worst top 5, I would say, trades of the year, not money wise, certainly not. But I would say macro wise, and just let it get. It was United, UAL. This got away from me. I started at the 50 strike price after a 30-day up program. It actually went to 55. I actually got out of it. But this looks a little bit worse than it is. Covered the most of it. I mean, yesterday morning, what? It was what? Yesterday, it was I think it was 55 pre-market. 55. I took some off, the majority of it, a lot of it, 51.67. I think it took off 8,000 shares there, if I will. Executions on UAL. Cancel. I took a lot of them. Executions. Yeah, I bought like what, 2,000, 3,000. Bought a lot of UAL here. Market's still there. So out of the trade. Nevada holding well. VRT. Okay. For those that are newer here, not to placate, VRT stock with tremendous range and volume, has been the leader before then. Yes, it came in on some profit taking yesterday, held all the moving averages up, bounced appropriately, even went to today's, even if you could have flagged it today, acting well. Still active of good range. Marvell, Avago, the old Broadcom. They sold down SE. This is the one that's interesting. EMPH. This one had a decent bounce. The chart on EMPH yesterday after earnings was 120, exactly at this time. This morning it hit 98. I mean, there you go. There's a 16-18% move. Crocs down. Wayfair followed through perfectly. Those are the looking for charts. It's almost the same feeling as Wayfair. I actually had Wayfair short. Wayfair closed on tremendous volume. News, it's in the right retail sector, closed below. It was almost like how Amazon closed. What a gap down on Amazon. Coach nailed that one too. And you know what? You should nail that one. I know the Meta helped everything out, blah, blah, blah. But risk to reward, You got to think that was kind of in your favor. As Microsoft today was down 29, I believe. All right, so let's see where they're going here. This is my a good if I can go here. Pfizer, Lowe's. What's Bristol Myers? You know what? JD got an upgrade from Goldman. Just be aware of these things. This JD, these China stocks could be like a Tesla when they could go up and the rest of the stocks go down. Baba, now Baba looks to. I need a little bit. I need a dip, a little bit of a flush in Baba here, but certainly it looks like the short side. The money's been already made. JD acting well. Baidu was acting best to worst, but now it's acting worse. The little ones are acting well. China, YMM, believe it or not, BZ. BZ, cup and handle. I want to get in this thing, BZ. I don't care if it has 600,000 shares. This is going higher without you, Mr. Jones. And that's one that could do it. BZ. Let's look at what else is going on. I like it. This other bio's acting well. Oscar. I'll get into more macro news. Oscar adding to it. It's a biotech. Get to know it. They rotated properly. Like I said, I came in long Dr. Pepper. I came in long Philip Morris. And they all rotated and sold off like they should. Took some profits. But note, stocks like KMB, consumer staples, popping and gapping. Dr. Pepper. No wonder Dr. Pepper pulled back. That had to move. It's never going to have a move. Kellogg was acting well yesterday. That's flagging if you were resting. General Mills is breaking out. You get the theme? As stocks like Microsoft, yes, I know it's dicey. Rotation, Walmart acting well, by the way. I got to call on Walmart. Don't kill the messenger. They're long it. TXT, I was telling Surfs Up, Alexis right before here. This was a stock I didn't know why I was up here. Thank God I didn't put my opinion in front of my ego. I thought it was a short, probably should have short here an ABC pattern, but there you go. Like I sold Surfs Up. I didn't really kind of believe in it. But there's a great chart, by the way, gap up. Another thing I learned, Bill O'Neill, and this has been happening. I'm not going to start quote, but if a stock makes a 20% move up, gap up, that you usually have to wait like 8 weeks. I'm not going to say you got to wait 6 months. Then it usually makes another move up. This was emblematic of that right now. But you know what? 2 weeks ago it was 97. You looked at July, you went on a cruise, you looked for 6-month portfolios. Coming to support, by the way. I got to keep that on watch TXT with volume. Something like this, I would go back and look at the weekly. I know it's not a barn burner of a trader, but I will look. You know what I mean? I get sports 79, probably 78 shakes people out at the 200-day. Probably Coach would think so. 78, 80. I'm in that stock. I'll take a position in it. Not a trader. What else am I talking about here? Newmont Mining. There it is. All of the gold's down. Just like the opposite happened. Newmont up 3. And I'm so happy for it because it's in the fund. There it is. Other golds, AEM. Actually, that performed well. GDXJ. I had to short overnight as the US dollar. PayPal coming in with some volume. VIX. I'll come in with some things. GDXJ. I'm whispering because I'm lucky. I came in shorted. Like 8,000 shares. That's me. You could save me even buying it. Here it is, GDXJ. I actually made money. The hard money, shorting GDXJ. There it is. Loading into GX. So bought it. 930.58. Look at the prices. Hard money. Buying it 30.61. 2,000, 3,000, 30.66, 30.70. So I'm at 30.70 for like 12,000 GDXJ. Why didn't I double cover? Nice cover, hard money. Stocks is an uptrend. Oh, you know why I did GDXJ as opposed to the others? Weekly. Only one with weekly 200 resistance, if I remember correctly. I hope I didn't dream it. Yes, that's why. I took a shot. GDX, on the other hand, was above the 200-day, if I remember correctly. And I did. So I took a shot at GDX. GDX is the one. So why didn't I buy GDX on the dip instead of shorting GDX at every distance? That's something I'm still in therapy for. But I still got out of the trade. I made the hard money, but I got money. We're going to do. We take out the money out. GDXJ. Nice cover, Mike V. Next. Okay. Macro situations. Let me get back to TGATEHub because I said I would make Coach proud and any of his other viewers. All right. TLT. Look at that gap down. What a nice trade. All right, let me go back to TGH, and Coach and I were talking about this yesterday. Please go back to a couple of things. A, the red YouTube button. TradeGATEHub as we approach 5,000 subscribers. See how the TGH right there has live? Well done. That's well done. And you know what? I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm proud of the site. You know what I mean? TradeGATEHub is free, and that's because Tradeview Markets is such a behemoth. They can have a division, offset it, to gather clients and people trading and have longevity in the markets. Without clients, there's no TradeGATEHub or nobody to watch. So with that being said, I'm proud of the way it looks and proud of the team. Coach doing a video yesterday garnering 300 views. These are more than some of the paid subs I have. 700 views a day ago. I did 190 views. Okay, so we're getting to get to know us and what we do. Bottom line is this. Okay, it's about a process, and we're not here to split the atom. Coach has been trading for a long time. The CEO and president of Tradeview is Tradeview Markets is a site built by traders for traders. Trust me, before Tim knew anything, he knew how to trade. I hope he would beg to differ on that one. Maybe he had a grander plan. I'm sure he may, but that's it. And that's it. The fact. So we get it. With that being said, it's fear and greed. Let me stop pontificating. We have smarter things to do. Just going back to the plan this week. Okay. Bottom line is I'm trying not to post that much. I did take lottos, and this was yesterday at the close. Took lottos in KDB and Mo, US dollar lows, but this was it. Credit signals. Right here. And I don't listen, you have to know that I traded on a lot of desks. 7 people, gentlemen, grown men with kids in college, move some size. And you have to know, sometimes it's better to know how other traders are doing than actually what's going with the market. If I was not trading well, it's guys fade me. You know what I mean? Stock's trading 18 bazillion shares. I don't care. I'll tell you, it's a team effort to a degree. I don't get like that. You know what I mean? Go against me. Just don't root against me. You go against me, I'll tell you. So this is it. Get to know verbiage. They hammering TLT puts as we speak. Maybe someone can explain why they're hammering the TLT puts. I can't. There's all the action. Okay. Now here's the chart on TLT. Now, by the way, that might have given you a tip that somebody knew something about Facebook, the short technology, go long goals. But the TLT had a nice move down. And that might have led you, listen, it might not have worked, but we're here to show you where the edge is by option flow, trend, range, price action. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to figure it out. I couldn't figure it out. I asked someone to explain. I asked Coach to explain it. But you know what? No one really knows, and no one really knows. That's why I don't go nuts. That's why I have things on pads. I don't have 10-year, 20-year about this pit. I don't even try. I've never traded a currency in my life. But I have price action on stocks. I'm looking at Teradyne, impressive. I saw natural gas had a number, things like that. So let's go here. Coach, good cover on DXY shorts. Always posting earnings, utilities positioning, Boeing. That was evident. Where's the risk to reward there on Boeing? All right, it didn't open down to 10%. You made $16, but the rest of the other market bounced quite a lot. So it's a mixed market. You can have a nice portfolio or trading situation like that. Fear and greed, rotation, always top performers ETFs that day. They're the top performers. Now, what I would do is I would go and see I'm not even getting into it more. I hope I'm on the right page. I am. Okay. By the way, this was last night as Meta was down 18, 20%. Apple was positive. That tipped me off right there that was a cue. I'm not saying that I should have went in Apple, but there was more repositioning in the NASDAQ, at least last night and into the morning, than there was the sky was falling. It's yet to be determined. We have a lot of earnings coming out as we post, still yet to see that. Tomorrow is still a Friday, and we're coming up into a May important number, believe me. That's why the VIX is elevated. You know what that tells me? It's like it just tells me to lower my take less overnights and maybe increase my size during the day. That's all. It's a little choppy out there, that's all. I hate that line. I can't, the only time I've ever blocked people is it has to. Right here. Jacob Pell, by the way, he's sentiment trader. Very one of the sharpest. See this Jacob Pell? He's this guy. Right here. By the way, sharp guy right here. This IPO Dave said it perfectly right here. Pullback can be bought. No, this is it. Once again, this is what I think. Even rotation, by the way, KDP is not going to get away from me anymore after I sold it. Nothing is going to get away from you in this market. Time to sit back and let names work. I mean, I understand that. I'm not going to. That's where we are, and that's when the VIX is elevated. I love it. Less risk overnight, more intraday. It's what I do best. I'm not going to lie. And then we'll bring it down to my minute point with sentiment trader. This is Jay. Sharp dude. Jay. And he says this. It's important. It's Mac, and I want to learn too. Just don't want to get, I know you'd rather be lucky than good. Every Caterpillar, by the way, put a bruise. T-bond futures are about as bullish as they can be. That's it. And by the way, I'm not looking for reasons to be on one side. I'm mixed. There's always a problem, if you will, TLT. But T-bond futures is something that I put the 30 years, put a lot of credence in. It's not like I'm looking for, the weather in New York City is 80 degrees and the New York Mets won. So therefore I'm looking for something specific that's not there. It's a major thing for me. You got to be aware. And what is it? Astro Gumbo. I told you on macro. Take it easy. MU, Caterpillar put a little dent in situations. Always upgrades, downgrades. This is some of my longs. The work I put my money was long Mo, KDP. Put the money off. Defensive, McDougal, well, good. Always bond yields. If I haven't posted a quote on bond yields in maybe a month and a half, 2 months, if you will. Enough said. Okay, we'll get back to what's moving. We're back. Let's get your rhythm here. Tradeview markets. Thanks a lot. Okay. VIX. What is this? Congressional lawmakers demand rescheduling marijuana. Pfizer new lows. Nothing's going on here on my tip. Let's look at the wise guys. First of all, let's look if I have any questions. New share. Look at the TradeView market site. I was looking at it today. Freaking awesome. Okay, TradeView markets. Let's look at the 10-year. New York volume up. Coach question. All right, Coach unfortunately has had a power outage out west. So we'll leave it here. A couple of things. But tomorrow, I really think tomorrow is going to be either a huge down day, a huge up day. I'm not going to lie. I do. Let's look at the Jesus feed. GDX today, still in breather mode. GDX, that's up for opinion, but from here, it looks like it's taking a breather. FCX, SC, nothing that way. AMD, JDS, it was bullish. And let's look at this. Let's leave it off at VIX coming down. Most active on the day. Most active on the day. This is what's moving today. This is the lunchtime menu. Okay, by the way, it's a lot of ranges and a lot of things. Don't start small in this market. And usually if the VIX is elevated and you start small, and I'll throw a cliche at you. It's up for argument. I beg to differ. A winner usually is if a winner usually is a good winner if it turns out to work right away. I'm serious. Works out right away. You open a store, you know what I mean? And the first day there's a line around the block. You're not going to go in the next. You're going to abandon it. Stick with it. Don't do any, I mean, you might want to add something of a similar magnitude, but work with winners, man. All right, AAL reversal. Let's look at the percentage gainers on the day. By the way, for those that are not really that familiar, go back on the YouTube channel. Again, if I talk too fast, go fast and furious if they will. Press pause this. These are the top gainers on the day. YYGH. It's in $3 million, 3 million shares. Okay. It's already traded 3 million share, 3 million percent. What's another one? Albi, WISA, always in WISA. This WISA, something's up with this thing. I'm telling you, this WISA is one of these speculative stocks that hangs in there and hasn't given it back. Let's look at the 12-minute on WISA. If you're looking to be at a speculative stock, this stock hasn't given back. It's holding gaps. Let's look at the hour. Coach would say, go higher. This WISA doesn't get much back. I mean, it's in a triangle situation here, but it pulled back on full volume. I'm not in it. It's a speculative situation for me. I have to be all in or not in at all. It's not like I can have 4,000 shares because it's going to go up 20%. I don't want 4,000 shares. I either want 20 or I'm not in it. I'll go, all right, it popped, but I'm 4,000. Then I add to it at the top. It turns into a mess. It's like I get ahead of myself. All right, there's the percentage gainers in a day, percentage losers on the day. I hope I did you well. Hertz, by the way, look at Hertz. Where's Uncle Carl? Where's Uncle Carl on Hertz? They tried to squeeze everybody. There it is. Hertz. They took their shots at EVs. There it is. Just in October, it was 11. Everybody knew it too. But you know what? Hertz could have pulled a PLCE. I flinched a little bit. Back at 6. Anybody remember G Money Ham? Please. It showed 100 that day. I'll never forget it. And I've had worse trades. But stock went from 12 to 28. I think it printed 60 on a halt. It didn't. Something happened. There it is, 6. Same thing with Hertz. Oh, it hurts. All right, so there's the movers. Harley Davidson, by the way, that was just, you know what? I don't really know if Harley Davidson, people really said it's enough. Harley Davidson's over with. I don't really think that that's it. It's kind of but that just might be more of somebody saying, I don't care if I get out at 35 or 32, at the end of April, maybe by in June or July, I'll be happy about that. So that's what it says to me. I mean, why would you be that frantic? You know what I mean? To make that frantic of a move on volume. I wouldn't, unless somebody says, I don't care. That's what it says to me. Panic selling, I get it for now, but what lays around the corner. So I hope it did you well. Nothing's really moving now. Lots going on, a lot of repositioning. Some people are caught off sides, myself to a degree, but not anything that I can't get out of. It's know what I'm going to do going forward. So that's why I tune to TGH. That's where we're here. And we'll see you later in the afternoon. Cheers. Thanks for Team TGH behind the scenes making us better.